Hi, this is Cheryl Thibault, and welcome to the Walk of Life, Passion, Purpose, and People. Our special guest today is the amazing Phoenix Van Dyke. Over the next coming weeks, I will be joined by a wide selection of guests and experts in the beauty industry to promote the launch of the book, Career in the Beauty Industry, Discover If It's For You, to which Phoenix is a contributing author, which is great. So we're here with Phoenix. So welcome, Phoenix. We're going to
Thank you so much, Cheryl. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, for sure. So Phoenix, you have contributed a chapter to our book, and I would love you to just talk about what got you into the industry. I know you started off the book with a little chapter of when you were little. Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, absolutely. So, actually, well, it all started, this sounds so funny. It's like, it started with my mom. No, not really. Not this time, right? No, I actually tripped over a chair when I was a toddler, and I caught all of my fingers in the broiler oven, and the oven was on. And so all of my fingers were melted together, and the doctors didn't even really know if I was going to have fingers, if they would heal. Like, they just didn't really know, but I was really, really young. But they did, they healed. I have all my fingers, right? But
Thank
I
God.
had, yes, yes, all of them. And I had scars on all of my fingers, on the top of all of my fingers. Every time the doctors would take the bandages off, the spots were getting, smaller and smaller and smaller. They did never have to do any skin grafting, things like that.
So
But
how old were you when that happened, Phoenix?
I was just a little over a year old.
And you remember?
There's like things that I remember, but no, it's more just like the stories that my mom told me. I mean, it's super tragic day in her
Yeah.
life, which I feel so bad. And I feel bad sometimes, like, talking about it, because my mom feels so bad. Like, it just hurts her heart that happened to her baby.
Yeah.
But I like to tell the story because it also greatly impacted who I became in the nail industry.
Right.
So, I mean, that's where it started. When I was 7, this is funny, not really, I tripped over, or I was trying to hold on to a door, and it was snowing and cold and icy and blistery. I grew up in Wyoming, and I was holding to the hinge side of a solid wood door, and the door was shut, and it actually cut off one of my fingers.
Oh my God.
Yep. Yep. So I
I
was
just have
taken.
chills, the first one gave me shivers and now I have chills. I think I have
Children are
some
like,
heater
oh,
on.
so bad. So I had to have plastic surgery to have my finger like put back on, right? But because of that, because of both of those instances, my nails are very, very, thin. My nail plate is very thin. My nail beds they've had permanent damage, right? So I've never had beautiful nails. I would hide my hands, I would sit on them, I would chew my nails, like that nervous anxiety. But when I was 15, a very dear friend of mine went to nail school, and she was my mom's age. And she came and visited us one weekend, and she gave me my very first full set of pink and white acrylic nails.
Wow.
She was pretty fresh out of school. So you know that it's probably not like the most beautiful set of pink and white nails ever, but it didn't matter, because all of a sudden I looked at my hands, I looked down, and I didn't see the scars. I didn't see anything that I thought was ugly. I was like, oh, I feel so beautiful
Aw.
because I had nails.
Yeah.
So,
Because your hands were pretty.
because my hands are pretty, the scars just kind of disappeared, and all you saw were these long, to me, like glamorous pink and white nails. So
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So then what happened?
Um, so my friend told me a lot about nail school. I was 15. I was getting really close to turning 16. And so I looked into going to nail school. I thought, I want to go to nail school.
Mhm.
And the closest nail school was about 60 miles away from where I lived. So that summer, the summer between my sophomore and junior year in high school, I took an entire summer and I drove 60 miles one way and 60 miles back every day to go to nail school.
Dedication.
Yep. So I
Dedication.
graduated and started a business at 16.
Wow. Wow. 16.
Mm-hmm.
You got me beat. That's
But you know what is really strange? Like to look at 16-year-olds now, I'd be like, wow, I was so much more adulty than any of the 16-year-olds I know now.
more adulty. That's a good word.
Good word.
Good word. So Phoenix, who was your mentor then? What motivated you besides that first set? Did you have anyone leading you, guiding you, encouraging you?
No, not really. Where I lived in Wyoming, it was a very small town, about between 5,000 and 6,000 people. And so I just booth rented in a salon all by myself. There was a lady there that did hair, but other than that, it was just me doing nails. And I knew some of the other salon owners, but never like connected with them. And it wasn't that I had competition or I felt, like any sort of way towards them. I just was so focused on my like everything that was right in front of me that I was not worried about that kind of like anything around me. I ended up taking some extra classes. This is interesting. I took some extra classes from Ed Taylor, that is Tammy Taylor's father. And so I got to learn some of their different techniques. I hadn't been a nail tech for very long, but I did, some classes there. I had never been to a trade show. I mean, when you live in the sticks, like you really, really live in the sticks. Like you drove 3.5 hours to the airport, like.
Wow. Yeah. So how many nail techs were in your little town then?
Probably at the time, there was probably about 4 or 5 of us, maybe.
So yeah, you didn't take long to get clientele, and you probably got clientele pretty quick.
I did get clientele really quick. And, because I was still in high school, because I would still go to school and I would go to school for half of the day. And then I would work in the afternoon, clear on into the evening. I made flyers that I will never forget this. Prom was getting ready to come. And I made flyers that said like nails, 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 full set of nails for $25.
Wow.
And I put them inside the girls' bathroom stalls. Okay. And I made it eye level. Like the second that you sat down,
right,
my name and my advertisement was right there, which now people have made an entire billboard business on the back of bathroom stalls. It was like, I really was onto something there. So I didn't go to my own prom. I didn't do any of that. I was too focused on being a business owner.
So that's encompassed your whole life, has been everything nails pretty much.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. Definitely.
Wow. So through that, you must have taken some advanced training classes then. How did you get into, because I met you at a trade show.
Yes.
And you were performing amazing art and advanced that you probably would pick it up on your own because you're artsy that way, but most people are not so Phoenix inclined. So where did you go? What did you do? How did you advance?
Well, so, you asked if I had any mentors. And, when I'm thinking about like the nail industry or the beauty industry, I didn't really have a mentor that way. But when you start looking or talking about art, I did have mentors on the art side. We had a husband and wife duo that taught at the high school I attended, and it's Randy and Sonia Sieg. And they were like renowned artists, and they eat, breathe, sleep art. They were incredible. And they taught me a lot about shading. I learned every medium possible between, watercolor or even pencil and just black and white. I did pottery, like so many different aspects of art. So that definitely lit a fire in me.
Okay.
And I learned a lot of techniques through them that then were applied to the nail industry. But nail art it wasn't as big, in the early 90s. What they were doing is like airbrushing.
Right.
Okay. And then from that, they did water decals and things like that, but nothing like what it is now. Nothing like what it is now. And so if I wanted to be better and more exclusive in what I knew I needed to have more education. So I started taking a series of classes through C&D, and I was taught by some of them. They had this great master's program. I did that with them actually several times just so I could keep my master's certificate with them. And then that just kind of lit a fire in me. And I went from that to, I'm trying to think. I attended a nail boot camp that was 6 or 7 days long in California. And the teachers were from Budapest, Hungary. So that opened my eyes, completely different to anything I had ever known before. When you have this little girl from the West, that would wear cowboy boots into the shop, and now I'm with like these elegant, amazing educators. And from that point, I did really, really well in class, and they asked me to become an educator for their company. And it was a fairly new company in the United States, even though they had been very big in Hungary and all over Europe and Italy, all of those different places. So
did you take that position?
I did. The very first trade show I ever worked was actually in Long Beach, California. I was like, I had no idea what I was stepping into. All I knew is that I was handed a catalog and said, memorize these products, and if you could know their prices. And at this point, I didn't know what a hard gel was. I had hardly used it. All I knew is it was goopy and sticky because I was an acrylic woman. Like, I loved that acrylic, right? And my life changed at that point, and I started teaching classes for them. I went to the trade show in California. I did trade shows in New York City.
Wow.
Yeah, at that point, like it was remarkable, the things that I learned.
That's when Phoenix grew her wings.
It
rose from the ashes, and there you came.
And but there were things about that though that, like, I would let people influence me one way or the other because I just didn't have my footing. And like, if there was somebody else out there that decided they wanted to be an educator one way or another for a different company or whatever it is, I would encourage them to just have firm conviction and be sure-footed. So you can learn and you can take all things on, but don't be a clone of your educator. Don't be a clone of your mentor. Be you, be individual,
That you are.
That you are. I walk the walk.
You are definitely an individual on your own mission, for sure. I knew that the second I met you. You're on your own path. Yes. And it's awesome that you are that way. But, also too, taking, education from other educators and sifting through what works for you and what doesn't, because not everybody's going to say what you need to hear. And someone might only say one thing that you need to hear out of a 3-day conference, so you just take what you need and you build on that, right?
And I think never thinking so highly of yourself that you're above learning from everybody. Somebody that maybe hasn't been in the industry for very long can shed a lot of new lights or help you think outside of the box. That if you are thinking too highly of yourself, you have blocked off an entire opportunity to learn. Yeah. So I've always said the best educator is first of all the best student. You have to keep learning.
100% right. And every person that I've had on this platform says the same thing as that. And, some of them have been in the industry for 0 years like I have, and they still say, you've got to keep learning. You learn something all the time. And you're right. And the best educators are still the best students because they are always learning. That's so true.
Whether you're just starting out or looking to change your career, you need assurance that you will be receiving a quality education with a reputable and accredited school. Look no further than Canada's first 100% online school where you will receive a top-notch education in the world of beauty. We offer 7 diploma courses in aesthetics, spa therapy, and nail technology. Study at your own pace from wherever you are. Start when you're ready. Trusted, established, global. We're Mirage Spa Education. Check us out at miragespa.ca.
So tell me about the competition circuit.
So I never even knew that there was such a thing. I remember looking at Nails magazine or Nail Pro magazine when I was in nail school, and this was in the 90s. And I would just look at all the nail art and I was like, I didn't know this was even something. And then I remembered seeing some of the pink and white nails that were done in competition when the Toms were very, where they were very big in the competition circuit. And I never thought to myself, I never aspired to that. I was just like, wow, they're amazing. That's incredible. Good on them. I never thought that I would ever be there. But after I had educated for the company in Europe, I was able to educate for a company that's based in Florida. And they had been big into competitions. And it just kind of piqued my interest a little bit. So I started looking and maybe teaching myself more what I needed to do for competition. And I learned a lot by watching. So I would watch and watch and watch. And I thought, okay, you know what? It's time to get my feet wet. And so I competed at the very first Nail Olympia that was held in the United States. And so that was in Texas. It was in 2017. And I didn't know, oh my goodness, I'm such a baby in this. I didn't know that there were people that have these hand models that are incredible, right? Their hands are beautiful. Their nails are beautiful. They're, manicuring their nails and rubbing them and massaging their hands with cream for a month before they ever show up at a competition. I was working on my model and she was eating red flamin' hot Cheetos. I didn't know that was, it was, to me, it was not so serious that I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're eating Cheetos. Now, I just started thinking, I'm going to do a competition. And so I did. I signed up for 4 competitions. I had done 3 sets on my model. And then she was tired. She didn't want to be there. Your models, it takes a lot out of them. Mm-hmm. And so for the very last competition, it was 5 fingers. It was stiletto. And you had free artistic expression. I used myself as a model and I did my own nails for the competition. I walked away.
How did you play?
I did really well. I walked away. Actually, I took gold in every single one of my categories and in my division. And I walked away with the winner of winners trophy, which what that is they take, your top 3 scores and they do an average and put them all together. I don't know what their numbers are, but that's how they put it all together. And the top score gets winner of winners.
That's awesome. And that was your very first competition?
Very first competition. And that was just in my division. They have 3 different divisions, but in my division, I took winner of winners. So
that's amazing. And how did you feel?
I felt really good. It's really funny. Scratch Magazine was there and they were taking photographs of the event. And Alex Fox, there was a photograph that was taken of me where I was handed my trophy and I was like I couldn't believe. I was like, what? I've never done this before. And this is what I'm walking away with, quite an incredible accomplishment. But more than that, the connections that I made with various artists, various competitors, I know without a shadow of a doubt, if I hadn't competed, I would have never met Alex Fox, for example. Yeah. There's so many people that I've been able to meet and connect with because of the competition circuit.
And is that what you think keeps you going? What keeps you going? Besides your determination to not stop ever from 16 years old. So what keeps Phoenix going today?
So my focus has changed a little bit. It used to be that I wanted, be the biggest and best nail tech ever and have a big spa with all of the big clientele. Went from that to, no, I liked teaching. And I liked teaching and educating fellow nail technicians, because not everybody had the opportunity to learn from somebody in Europe the way that I did, So I wanted to share that knowledge. It's not something to be kept away. It's not a secret. Come on, let me share with you. That has continued to grow. And now I like to pass on knowledge to students that are just learning how to do nails. I feel so strongly that if you have somebody who's going to nail school, they always have this fire lit up in them. They are so excited. They want to get out and start their businesses and doing nails. But having good products is important, and having excellent knowledge and technique to where a student who gets their license or their certificate or whatever it is can walk out from school straight to a salon and be accomplished and be confident in what they can offer. I didn't have that.
Not a lot of students do, though. That's the thing. They walk out intimidated, scared, bleepless, and don't know what to do, don't know where to go, don't even know how to apply for a job, pretty much. So tell me about that. How did you feel?
Well, when I graduated, of course, determination, I'm going to do this. It's going to be fine. I was a decent nail technician because I had an art background, but I was not the best. And I didn't know how to start a business, and I didn't know, how to take care of taxes or anything like that. Even sitting down and giving a client like a consultation, I didn't know any of that. So I had to kind of muddle my way through until I got my footing a little bit. I don't ever want a nail technician, a student, to ever feel that way. I want them to walk out of school and feel like they can, grab the bull by the horns and have a business, sit down and feel so good at what they do. Know that their techniques are good. Know that they know how to do a good pink and white. Know that there's an opportunity for competition if they want. This is a huge industry with so many facets. And I want everybody to feel that way.
And
just
so
feel
that's
super
what you're
confident.
doing. That's what you're doing. You're coaching and encouraging and helping new beginners.
It's like being a mom to hundreds of babies.
You did some R&D for a bit too, so you know a little bit of product knowledge and what goes in.
Yep. You know where things get their start, and you know how they end up, completed at your desk. It's nice to see something from beginning to end.
Yeah. So trade shows, do you love trade shows?
Actually, I do. I do love trade shows. There is such an energy in the air at trade shows. And I've done all of the major trade shows in the United States. I've done smaller trade shows in the United States. And I've done at the London Expo, they have a nail trade show, nail and skin. That's it. There's no hair, there's no makeup. It's just nail and skin in London. And I've been there a couple of times. So yes, I love trade shows. The energy is good. People are there because they want to learn. They're walking around, they're taking in all the sights. And some of the greatest friendships that I have now were people that I met at trade shows that would sit and watch me, and I would talk to them and I would show them different things. Because once again, I wouldn't hold in my knowledge, right? I'm like, no, here, let me share. I'll tell you anything.
Yeah. So that was me for sure. That was me. I was that person. So this little girl from Wyoming who didn't think she'd even have fingers is now one of the best in the world. So
thank you.
That's amazing. Wow. Did you ever think that you would be this person?
I would never, even at this point, I would never consider myself one of the best in the world.
Well, winner of wins is pretty good. Global nail champion says it all. I don't have those accolades, so you know what, far surpass me.
I feel that I am very privileged to be in good company. So those that I have been honored to work with and work for, we all can benefit each other. They say iron sharpens iron, right? So I feel like I'm in good company. And when you have similar aspirations for the future, you will align yourself with like-minded people.
So did this little girl from Wyoming ever see herself where you are today?
Oh, no. I've done nails now for 27 years. And that's not, 40 years like other people, but that's a pretty long haul. I'm supposed to be having my 25th high school reunion this summer. And I'm sure people will be like, so what are you doing with your life? I was like, the same thing I was doing 27 years ago, but and so
you do get addicted to just everything. It's the energy, it's the people, it's the learning, it's the fun, it's the laughs, it's the tears.
Yeah You are holding people's hands through some of the most important moments of their lives.
Literally holding their hands.
Yes.
True. It's true. I want to ask, what was impossible for you that you overcame?
Oh my goodness, that's a really good question. When you are in the beauty industry, there can be a tendency for like bad things to happen. I know that sounds crazy, right? But bad things happen. People are like, oh, the beauty industry is catty. I was like, well, you're just hanging with the wrong people if that's what you think is going on. But things can be done that can hurt you emotionally, business-wise, things like that. There was a time where I had something so like personal and deeply, just like this bad situation that hurt me so bad. And I stepped away from the nail industry for about a year, and I thought, I'm never going to go back. I'm like, that's how deeply it hurt me. Okay. And so the thought of coming back, that was pretty impossible. And yet here I am.
Yeah. So when that happened to you, was that before or after you had won your nail competition?
After.
So you had all that and you were still going to walk. That was significant. So congratulations on your return, because my life's better because you're in it. So thank you for coming back to the world.
Well, my life is better as well. And life teaches you so many lessons. And that's where I say, make sure that you have your footing and don't be influenced unnecessarily. Be okay being you, be original and shine. Don't let anybody take your sparkle. I think that's on a t-shirt.
True enough. We all glitter in our own way.
Yeah.
So we just have a few minutes left, Phoenix. Is there any closing words that you want to share with our listeners?
I think that it's really important for people to recognize that the beauty industry, it is a beautiful industry. You can make lifelong friends. You can develop amazing skills as a businesswoman, business person, I should say, and that it's not a fallback. Being in the beauty industry, it's not like, I dropped out of college and I went to hair school or nail school. It's not. Right. It is a career, right. And it is a darn good career. And you can take care of yourself, your family. Single mothers can be the most amazing women out there because they can care for their kids and make a really good living. Yeah. So when we ask the question, is a career in the beauty industry for you? Well, yeah, and learning from all of the different people and all of the different types of aspects of the beauty industry, that would be my closing. Like, there are so many pieces out there, and walk along the street and, everybody out there comes in contact with somebody in the beauty industry. Yeah. And probably multiple people, really.
Yeah. And it's sustainable because it's kept us going for all these years, so many careers. We survived COVID and kept going, right? So
yes. And people, that was one of the first things they wanted to do after COVID. They're like, I just want to go get my nails done. I just need to go get a haircut. Those were the very first things. Those things did not die. They kept going.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, Phoenix.
That's all.
Thank you so much. What are you doing today with your career? Tell us what you're doing.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm going to close, but forgot the most important part.
Yes. Today, I've actually been working with a lot of new students through Mirage Spa Education. And so I have several I'm in contact with today, and I'm going through and assessing their work and giving them pointers and just really trying to help give them a good foundation for their future.
And they love you. I can
vouch. Well, I love them. They don't even know.
So that's awesome. So in case you didn't read between the lines there, I have snagged Phoenix and brought her on board with us at Mirage Spa Education. And she is our global nail instructor and soon to be aesthetics as well.
Yes.
She's going to be branching her little continuously learning into the, new careers. So thank you for being my guest today, Phoenix, and we love you to pieces.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor.
And thanks for being part of the book and part of everything you do that you contribute and share with everyone. So thanks for joining us today. And remember, if you want more information, you can find us at misscheryl.com and also in the show notes. I invite you to go to the website and grab your free ebook called Setback to Success. Is a career in the beauty industry your answer to safety, sustainability, and job security? And as we've heard from Phoenix today, yes, it is. It sure is. So Phoenix's details and all her contact information will be on our website at misscheryl.com. And you can find her there. Is there anywhere else you can be found, Phoenix?
No, I will make sure that you have all of that information. I'm, on most of the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, But of course, Mirage Spa Education is probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. So make sure you go onto Facebook and like our page there. And then if you ever have any messages or anything, you know that that's actually going to be coming to me. So don't even worry about that. So we are we pride ourselves on communication. So if there's anything that you need, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So.
Absolutely. So thanks again, Phoenix, for joining us today. And
it's wonderful. I always spend time with you.
Yeah, and we want to send all our listeners to the website to get our book, Career in the Beauty Industry, so they can all go there, which would be great. So thanks again. And this is Cheryl Thibault with The Walk of Life, Passion, Purpose, and People. And I'm signing off. And in the words of my little brother, bye for now.
Bye for now.